I would rather drink aged alligator piss on the rocks with a lemon and a bendy straw before I let one of you nappy-headed Neanderthals play with my motherfucking heart again.
I just really hate when a bitch be like, oh yeah, you know not to play with me. Who? I'm finna EA Sports. It's in the game. Yo,
A fight between neighbors on Christmas Day coming to an end with gunfire and the death of a woman.
Hold out!
This argument in the parking lot of a Lauderhill apartment complex tragically turned deadly Christmas night.
You ain't did none of this.
Police officers say they found a woman dead at the Sunny Lake Apartments after neighbors got into an argument.
That was the last thing Octavia Stewart ever heard. Her own voice, raised in anger, then a stranger's bullet. Christmas Eve 2025, a parking lot in Florida. A mother of one was shot dead before the ambulance arrived. But here's the thing that's going to stay with you long after this video ends. The man who killed her, he hasn't been arrested. He's not in prison. He's not awaiting trial. He's home, right now, free. And the law might actually be on his side. And when you see what the cameras captured that night, you might actually understand why. The footage exists, the witnesses talked, and by the end of this, you're going to have to decide which truth you believe. You're also going to have to decide something. Was this murder, or was this the only choice the shooter had? But before you answer that, you need to know who Octavia Stewart was before loud noise complaint turned into a coffin, before Sunny Lake parking spot became a crime scene. Welcome to Mind Twist True Crime Stories, where all our stories are based on true crime. Thanks to all my viewers and subscribers for support. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification for daily true crime series.
What, you was gonna let them run a train on you? No. You overreacting as usual, Diamond. Oh, I'm overreacting? No, you tripping. How am I supposed to watch you when you keep trying to lead a club all the time? Watch me? Wait a minute, now you...
Before her name showed up in police reports. Before the surveillance footage spread across the internet. Before strangers on social media started arguing about whether she deserved what happened to her. Octavia Stewart was just living, 36 years old, a wife, a mother, a business owner. She'd been at the Sunny Lake Apartments in Lauderhill, Florida for years, long enough that people knew her face, knew her routine. Neighbors remembered seeing her in the hallways, carrying groceries, walking her daughter to the car. The kind of person you nod to on your way to check the mail. Not the kind of person you expect to see bleeding out in a parking lot. After the shooting, reporters reached out to her family. Her wife spoke to them, so did her sister. But neither one could appear on camera. Too distraught to stand in front of a lens, too broken to form sentences for strangers. Think about that for a second. The grief was so immediate, so total, that words weren't possible yet.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Women with locks, they just look like they taste so good.
But here's where the story starts to shift. The Sunny Lake Apartments weren't always sunny. See, when you pack that many families into one building, when parking spots aren't assigned, when walls are thin enough to hear your neighbor's music whether you want to or not, frustrations don't just disappear. They stack, layer by layer, day by day, and in the days leading up to Christmas 2025, something at Sunny Lake had been stacking for a while. The tension between two apartments had been building for more than a day. And on the eve of December 25th, it was about to reach a point where someone wouldn't walk away. How many arguments have you had with a neighbor that felt like it could explode at any second? What stopped it from going further? Did you walk away? Drop your honest answer in the comments.
How you lose weight so fast? Hashtag Bing Bong. Hashtag BSG Journey.
December 25th, 2025. Christmas morning at Sunny Lake looked like Christmas morning anywhere else in America. Kids tearing open presents, families crowding into kitchens, the smell of food drifting under doorways and through vents. Some gatherings spilled outside. People set up chairs in the parking lot, shared plates, passed around drinks, laughed loud enough for everyone to hear. For most residents, it was exactly what Christmas should be. But not for everyone. Neighbors said the arguing started early, a woman and a man, going back and forth. The issues? The same ones that always cause problems in places like this. A parking spot someone felt entitled to, music that was too loud for too long, the kind of complaints that usually blow over by lunchtime. Except this time, they didn't. The arguing went on for hours, off and on, voices rising, then dropping, then rising again. Some residents closed their doors, turned up their own TVs, told themselves it wasn't their business. Others felt something different. A weight in the air. Like the whole complex was holding its breath. Now here's something most people reporting on this story didn't dig into. One of the apartments involved had visitors that day. Family members who'd driven in for Christmas. People who didn't live at Sunny Lake. Didn't know the history. Didn't understand how long the frustration had been building between these neighbors. Among those visitors was a man. A relative of the neighbor Octavia had been arguing with. He wasn't part of the original dispute. He hadn't heard the music complaints or the parking arguments from the days before. He was just there to spend Christmas with family. But by the end of the night, he would be the one holding the gun. As the sun went down over Lauderhill, the parking lot at Sunny Lake Apartments was about to become the center of something no one could take back. And it was about to happen fast. If you're still here, you already know this isn't just another crime story. This is the kind of story that makes you think about your own building, your own neighbors. The moments that almost went too far, but didn't. If this channel helps you see the world even a little differently, that subscribe button is right there. No pressure, no guilt, just something to consider. A man shows up to a family gathering and ends up killing someone he's never met before. Is he a protector who stepped up when things got dangerous? Or an outsider who made everything worse? What would you have done if it was your family caught in the middle of that argument? Tell me in the comments.
It's the city girls, and you know when I fuck you, so get out my face before I touch you. Oh, don't you know? Can't you understand? If you fuck with me, I'll take your man.
By 10 p.m. Christmas Day should have been winding down. The food should have been gone. The music should have been fading. Families should have been settling in for the night, grateful the holiday went well. But at Sunny Lake, the parking lot was still full, and the argument that had been simmering all day, it was about to boil over. Multiple people gathered outside, neighbors from different apartments, visitors, some trying to calm things down, others adding fuel. Ring cameras from nearby units started recording. Security footage captured bodies leaning forward, hands gesturing, voices overlapping, the kind of energy that makes your chest tighten just watching it. And then, a woman stepped into the middle of it. Octavia Stewart was wearing an orange dress. Maybe she'd dressed up for Christmas dinner. Maybe she had somewhere to go after. We don't know. What we do know is what the cameras captured next. Her movements were frantic, not calm, not calculated, frantic. She was overwhelmed, emotional, pushed past whatever limit she had left. And in her hand was a gun. She waved it, pointed it. Not like someone issuing a cold threat, like someone who had completely lost control of the moment. Fear mixing with rage, panic mixing with pride. The man, the visitor, saw her. He saw the gun go up. And in that sliver of a second, he made a decision that would end one life and change countless others. Maybe he thought she was about to shoot someone. Maybe he thought his family was in the crossfire. Maybe he didn't think at all. He raised his own weapon and fired. Neighbors who heard it said it didn't sound like a gunshot, it sounded like an explosion. Then came the screaming. People scattering, running in every direction, stumbling over each other to get away. And in the middle of the parking lot, a woman in an orange dress, on the ground, not moving. When police arrived at Sunny Lake Apartments just before 10:30 p.m., Octavia Stewart was already gone. At least one bullet had struck her in the head. Paramedics couldn't save her. The damage was done before they ever got the call. But the man who shot her? He didn't run. And what happened next is the part that's going to divide everyone watching this. If you were there that night, standing in that parking lot, watching everything spiral out of control, would you have stepped in? Walked away? Called for help the moment you saw a gun? Or done something else entirely? I think about it, And I want to know if you do too.
Police have identified the woman who was killed as 36-year-old Octavia Stewart. Now, this did start as an argument, and there is cell phone video. You'll see some of it. We paused it because it's very graphic. This argument in the parking lot of a Lauderhill apartment complex tragically turned deadly Christmas night.
You ain't did none of this shit.
Police officers say they found a woman dead at the Sunny Lake Apartments after neighbors got into an argument. During the argument, you can clearly see a woman in an orange dress on cell phone video with a gun in her hand. Then she raised the gun up, pointing it. We paused the video because it's too graphic. You then see a man shoot her as people screamed.
She referenced to someone that was suffering from a gunshot wound to the head. The caller is a passerby.
Neighbors say the argument between people at two apartments had started over loud music and parking. They say the tension had been boiling for more than a day. Now, police say they have identified everyone who was involved in this, including witnesses. They say all of them are cooperating. No one has been arrested. Lauderhill police detectives are still investigating this case. So if you have any information, call Broward County Crime Stoppers at numbers 954-493-TIPS.
Here's what usually happens after a shooting. The person who pulled the trigger runs, hides, lawyers up before police even get a description. But this man didn't. When officers arrived at Sunny Lake, he was still there, standing in that parking lot, cooperating, answering questions, not trying to hide what he'd done. Detectives reviewed the footage. They saw Octavia with the gun, saw her waving it, pointing it toward people in the crowd. They took statements from witnesses, from the man who fired, from residents who watched it unfold, and then they made a decision. No arrest. The man who shot and killed Octavia Stewart that night walked out of that parking lot and went home. If you're confused or angry or wondering how that's even possible, you need to understand where this happened. This is Florida. And Florida has a law that changes everything. It's called Stand Your Ground. Under this law, if you reasonably believe you're facing imminent death or great bodily harm, you don't have to retreat. You don't have to try to escape. You can use deadly force. Right there. In that moment, the surveillance video showed a woman with a firearm, pointing it at people. In the eyes of investigators, that might be enough. The case was handed to the state attorney's office. They'll make the final call on whether charges get filed or not. But as of right now, the man who killed Octavia Stewart is free. Not on bail. Not awaiting trial. Free. And that's where this case becomes something people can't stop arguing about. Because here's what we still don't know. Did Octavia actually fire her weapon, or just point it? Was she threatening to shoot, or trying to scare people back? If she'd had 10 more seconds, would she have lowered the gun on her own? And the question that haunts me the most, if a neighbor had been facing her instead of a stranger, someone who knew her, who'd seen her with her daughter, who understood that this wasn't who she really was, would they have pulled the trigger? Or would they have tried to talk her down? A mother is dead. Her daughter will grow up without her. Her wife lost her partner on Christmas Eve, and the man responsible might never see the inside of a courtroom. But the people who loved Octavia? They had something to say. Legal doesn't always mean right. If the law says he's protected, but a little girl no longer has a mother, is that justice? Or is that just the law doing what the law does? I don't want the answer you think you're supposed to give. I want what you actually believe. Put it in the comments. In the days after the shooting, Octavia's sister wrote something. And I want you to hear it. Because this is what gets lost when we talk about evidence and statutes and legal defenses. This is what a family sounds like when everything falls apart. She wrote, "Dear sister, I don't know how to say goodbye to you, and I don't think I ever really wanted to learn how. You were such an amazing person, and the world feels different without you in it. Thank you for the memories we shared, the big ones and the small ones. Thank you for the moments you made me laugh, the times you understood me without words, and even the moments we didn't agree. Because they were still ours. I wish I had more time with you. There are still things I want to tell you, moments I wish we could have shared. This isn't a goodbye forever. It's a goodbye for now. Rest peacefully. I love you. Her best friend Naomi posted something too. 20 years of friendship, 2 decades of inside jokes and late-night phone calls and plans that kept getting bigger. They were supposed to take trips together in 2026. They talked about buying a house together someday, growing old on the same street, all of it. Erased in a few seconds. And then there's the part that's hardest to talk about. Octavia's daughter. A little girl who grew up in that apartment complex. Who walked that parking lot holding her mother's hand. Who probably opened Christmas presents that morning without knowing what was coming. Now, every December 25th will mean something different for her. Not presents, not family, not joy. Just the anniversary of the night her mama didn't come back inside. A parking spot, loud music, pride that wouldn't bend. That's what this started over. And that's what a little girl will carry for the rest of her life. What would you say to Octavia's daughter if she could hear you right now? What would you want her to know? Put it in the comments. She might not see it, but someone who needs those words will. At the beginning of this video, I asked you a question. Was this murder? Or was this the only choice he had? I'm not going to answer that for you, because honestly, I don't know if there is a right answer. She had a gun, he had a gun. Both of them thought they were protecting something. There's only one of them is still alive to tell their side of the story. To Octavia's wife, her daughter, her sister, her friends, there are no words that make this better. But your loss is seen. Her name won't be forgotten. And maybe, just maybe, someone watching this will think twice the next time an argument starts to spiral. Maybe they'll be the ones who learn to walk away. If you made it this far, you're not just watching, you're listening, you're thinking, you're sitting with a story that doesn't have easy answers. And honestly, that's rare. Most people scroll past. Most people don't care enough to stay with something heavy like this. But you did. So if this channel adds something to how you see the world, the like and share button is there. The subscribe button is there. The bell is there. Use them if it feels right. But if you're still not sure, that's okay too. Drop a comment and tell me why. Because I'm not building this for numbers. I'm building this for people like you, and I'd rather hear what you actually think than guess. Thank you for watching to the end, and I will see you in our next true crime story. Stay safe.